What's up, fellow Blairkins? It's your girl BB, and I'm back to do the part 2 of I Love JT and Sergeant Willie. So if you haven't seen part 1, handle your business and click on it. So anyways, as I left off, a lot of women unfortunately aren't guided properly because the environments are inside and outside the home are not very productive at creating solutions to the longevity of our well-being. Again, I was raised in a household where my mom, she abused my father mentally, emotionally, and physically. And my father was an alcoholic. That was pretty much what he abused my mom with, his alcoholism. He never really put his hands on her at all. So I'll get a little personal with you. I grew up where, because my mom didn't respect my father a lot, I eventually started to disrespect him also until I got about 17. I was strong enough to tap into my common sense, detach from my emotions, and figure out what was good. And that is to live my life in an ethical, mannerable way and be real about it. My mom and I, to this day, we have a lot of disagreements and so forth. She even thinks that sometimes I take my father's side because I feel that my father is a lot more logical than her and he listens to me, versus she just is very stubborn and she chooses not to change at all, basically. Not saying my dad is too much of a changer, but at least he's a lot more logical and he's not as violent as my mom. But I think my mom may have gone through some traumatic things growing up that I don't know about. But like I said, I forgive my mother and my father. So I forgive her for not teaching me about how men take advantage of women. I had to teach myself many things as far as being with a man and not having children with a man that really doesn't care about anything but sex. The point is here, Sergeant Willie, you're not a woman. So I love JT for coming at you because you lack compassion so much that you're forgetting about the men, period. You cannot leave both parties out of the equation when it took both parties to create what is going on right now, and that is men and women having children out of wedlock. Not only out of wedlock, but just without common sense, period. Okay? You said that a lot of black women glorify what's wrong to society and what's wrong to religion. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, mostly everything about religion is crap. Okay, so you damn right I'm going to glorify what religion tells me is supposedly wrong or what have you, as much iniquity goes on in churches. Now, I don't want to offend anybody, but I've done a lot of research about history and so forth. To sum it up, you may get a lot of insight by one documentary called Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist. Or go to your local library, or if you're on this freaking computer, you have Google. Just start thinking of, type in, slavery, or, people don't realize that black people were in slavery the least amount of time. The Indians and the other races were in slavery a lot longer than us, and I'm not going to go deep into it, but you have to learn about this. And a lot of people Black people have a lot of self-hatred because of the ignorant, fraudulent word, which is slavery and racism. So I think that Sergeant Willie, I don't know if you really truly care about the problems and causes and solutions. Of course, you don't talk about the solutions, but suppose you are, and you're just a really frustrated guy. You and all of your entourage, you guys are just very frustrated with black women's behavior because, again, black women, just as many single black mothers, there are just as many single white mothers out there. There was a girl in Judge Brown today, a white chick. She was pretty ghetto, and she was pregnant again by a guy who had the girl down the street pregnant. You know, so it's all about women growing up who aren't guided properly, who lack a lot of love and self-respect. Who gives a fuck if a woman wants to be in a video? She is mainly there because she wants to promote herself and make some money. I am not against that, not one bit. Because we all have choices. Okay, and I hate you men. I cannot stand, shall I say, you men who sit up there and say that men sell drugs and they talk about, you know, being thugs and what have you for women. Not all women like that shit. Okay? I don't want a guy with his pants hanging to his fucking knees. Okay, back in the day, yes, I may have wanted someone who wasn't all goody-goody. I don't want a goody-goody guy now. But you know what? He better have some sense and some morals and ethics about himself. I don't want a thug. Okay, but the thing is, people change. And they go through phases in life. Nobody's going to be all good. And people, these men are thugs because of what... A lot of the real ones, shall I say, because they have no other choice. They are growing up in rough-ass environments. And the women have no choice but to like their asses. Because that's all they're used to. Okay? And another thing is, be strong enough to address the men's responsibility. Because a black woman has no problem putting out those issues that should be put out. And that is, they should have more love and respect for themselves, not to give their bodies up so easily, and to do further research on men before they even date them. And to have their self together. You know, you can't just expect something and you don't expect it from yourself. Like, yeah, I want a guy that is fit and that looks good. However, I let myself go physically. Doesn't mean that I'm not good on the inside. It just means that I have to work out, which is what I'm doing right now. I just finished working out. Okay? But you guys want to talk about that shallow shit about that I'm, you know, thick and all that. This can be changed. Okay, your mindset is what has to endure what's real, because this really ain't real. This is just our bodies. This is just like our transporter. You know what I'm saying? You have to take care of it. Don't get me wrong, but what's most important is what's on the inside, because once again, books can guide you, okay, but your heart defines you. And Sergeant Willie, as I told you before, our words reveal the condition of our heart. And you are starting to like really go down in a downward spiral as far as putting issues out there. And I'm not too concerned about it, because it's not like you have, you know, tens of thousands of followers or, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, you know, viewing your page. But it's enough to alert me that I care that some men are not strong enough and are not compassionate enough to contribute to the causes and the solutions of these problems that is amongst our people. A wise man once said that most people in this world, they're negative. And that may be true, because I don't get a lot of negative things, but I get a lot of negative and ignorant things from this YouTube stuff. And I guess it's true what they say. It's lonely at the time. But I'm willing to take everybody that wants to come with me. And that's the thing. We can only take them, what? You can only, take a horse to the water. You can't make them drink it. And that just sums it up. So you guys, I hope I'm not being, mean or anything like that. I just want to speak from my heart. And I love you all. Peace.